Standing by.
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Complete.
Tajigen is your favorite superstar, the multi-dimensional Tajigen Khaiden, a sentient star cluster in VTuber VSinger new form. It's so nice to be doing this intro at the very start of the stream with this model. It's great to see you, Karma. Glad you can make it to the start of the stream, because we did it yesterday. Not yesterday, sorry. 2 days ago. We did it 2 days ago. But in the middle of the stream, because I revealed myself like this in the middle of the stream. Karma, glad you made it. I don't think I saw you in the new model debut stream. It's okay, it's okay. I'm just mentioning it. So yes, you know, some of you old maniacs there. Old maniacs, that kind of sounds like I'm making you like an old person or something, but I hadn't seen this model. Oh yeah, no, this is brand new. This is fresh. I don't know why I keep rolling my R's, but anyway, this is fresh. This is completely fresh. We just debuted that 2 days ago, and of course, there's gonna be the standard going on. It's not an alternate model, an alternate outfit, as you can see, an alternate hairstyle. No, this is much closer to being who I really am and my true form as a maniacal star cluster across the cosmos and all that. Today, I'm actually gonna read to you all some quotes from a book, from my favorite book of all time, called Star Maker, which is the thing that my lore is based a lot on, if you will. I've been saving them. I wanted to do like a tweet with them. I'm working on redoing some of the pictures I did before, like on my previous model. Like the picture I want to do is the one with the 8 stars of infinity surrounding me. The infinity stars. It's not the infinity stones anymore. It's the infinity stars now. And it's not 6 of them. It's 8 of them. I rewatched the scene from, which one was it? Avengers Endgame, where Hulk is encountering the Ancient One. I love that scene a lot. I just really like it. I like what they did there. Fresco! Well, there you go. Fresh is fresco. Why do I keep talking like that? Well, let's just make it a running joke and a meme or something. I think I do a lot. But yeah, big thing I want to talk about here is at the start of the stream is the microphone. I really hope it's not peaking a lot, because I finally reduced the gain on it. I was rewatching a bit of the debut and I noticed it didn't sound like I wanted to. The other thing I can do is, like, when I raise my voice, I step away from the mic, right? The invisible mic, by the way. Mic sounds fine, yeah, thank you, Karma. I did a few sound tests, reducing the gain to 85 on Windows itself. Seems like magic to me that you do it digitally instead of physically, and it does it so well. I had something similar happen with my previous mic in Audacity. I reduced it to 90, and then it was just perfection after that. I'm gonna have to see after. It's been a while since I've done some recordings here. Next cover probably, right? Or some voice actor lines, something, right? When I record it again, I'm gonna have to see what it sounds like. There was a weird delay on my previous mic too when I recorded lines, and I had to like retime them. So we might have the same issue here. I wonder. Well, we'll see. But yeah, we'll find out one way. Let's see if I can recenter myself a little bit here. But yeah, welcome to the first Tea Tuesday talk again with this new model. I think eventually we will return to the tea room, or I'm gonna have some tea assets here. Oh, you know what? I think I know what we can have around here. And I'm just gonna download it right now and put it here just like that. Wait a minute. I have an idea. We're gonna talk a little bit about Pokemon later. Let's have one of my most favorite Pokemon of all time, Sinistea. Just floating here. Floating around. Hold on. I think it's the time to do that. Let me see. Give me a second. Let me save it correctly. But yeah, you know, I've been playing a lot of the Pokemon TCG off stream yesterday and today. I tried out all sorts of decks. It's been fun testing them too against the AI. Some of them I just lost every duel with them. Some of them I won every duel so far. Today I used the Origin Form Palkia deck, a water deck. That was really good. Of course, I want to focus on a Psychic deck. Psychic there is Psychic, Ghost, and Fairy. My 3 favorite types. Ghost first, Psychic second, and Fairy third. Now let me see. The funny thing about Fairy is that you had 5 generations without it. Just trying to get the picture here and get it to show properly. Okay, I think it's gonna look a bit gigantic when I put it here, but let's do it. And I think I should also have... So this is gonna be Sinisty. I think I should also have Poltergeist, which is the matcha equivalent to Sinisty, basically, that they just introduced recently. You like Ghost, Dark, and Psychic? Why am I not surprised, Sekihara? It's great though. Yeah, Lunala, like, is a Ghost Psychic type. I mean, I'm in love with that one. And I'm sure you are too. Where is my Sinisty? 1 second. So yeah, but yeah, hopefully, you know, I'm realizing now I'm speaking as loud as I usually do, but still close to the mic. So hopefully the sound is great for everyone. Yeah, it was as gigantic as I thought it was gonna be. Hold on. Let's place this correctly. Let's place this correctly across the screen. Where should I put it? Just floating around like this. I'm gonna put it... Why don't we put it like on the chat box? On the border there. Let's try it like that. I think that works really well. I like Grass Ground and Poison, Komodo Dragon through and through. Let's go. I love it. Of course, if you're a Pokemon, like if I were a Pokemon, I would have to go Psychic. I can be Fairy as well, but I can learn Fairy moves, of course. So you would be Grass Ground, maybe? You would have double weakness to Ice. And hey, to be fair, I have double weakness to myself. Ghost and Psychic are both weak to Ghost. So many great Pokemon that also have like quadruple damage from a move. Torterra, for example, right? Toad's Cruel. Grass Ground types, they're really good. Well, at least I like them. Hard for me to dislike a Pokemon. There are some Pokemon I dislike, I tell you that, but it's not because of the Pokemon themselves, but because of an ability. For example, I actually used to hate Mimikyu. Now I love the hell out of it. Well, I hated it in terms of gameplay, because it was so OP with the ability, and now Ice-Q is the one that's like that. I hate it. Hold on, readjusting the... Okay. Moongeist, this was filmed back in 2017, is Moongeist. Oh yeah. The nice one of hers, my one alternative name is Moongeist. Wasn't that one of the... It was one of the moves, right? Now it makes sense with why the Ice Gym was so hard in Diamond. No, yeah, Grass is weak to Ice. Ground is weak to Ice as well, so... You get hit with an Ice Punch, bang! You get knocked out. An Electivire, maybe. Aha! You think you have the advantage because Electivire is weak to ground, bang! Of course, Electivire is not gonna have same type attack bonus with that, unlike your ground move. You know, Stab, same type attack bonus. So you're the one that's gonna stab Electivire, for example. But yeah, Moongeist Beam is Lunala's signature move. There you go. Moongeist Beam! You meant Bean. Yeah, you know, I thought you did that intentionally for a moment with all the Bean reactions you've been doing on the Discord server. That's actually very fitting. And yeah, we're gonna have Fall Guys tomorrow, by the way. You can see this schedule on the... Oh, you know what? I forgot to put this on the community tab. You can see it on Twitter, on the Discord server, and I'm gonna put it on the community tab. I forgot about that. But seriously, this is why I've been wanted to do more of these Tuesday Talk streams. We're just talking, and we're just talking and talking. Like, I don't have to worry about focusing on the game we're playing. Oh shit, Fall Guys, blah, 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 blah. Right, for example. So it's great. I want to keep doing them every week. Or most weeks. But, what was I going to say? So yeah, talking about the microphone and all that, you know. Audio adjustments I have to do is always so difficult because you can't hear it immediately. I can hear my own voice, but I can't hear it with the filters I have added. So I always have to record, listen, then record again, then listen. It's a very back and forth process that back and forth nature of it makes it so tedious to me. It's kind of, this is a weird analogy maybe, but it's kind of like following a cooking tutorial I've never been able to do that because it's such a painful process for me. Like, for example, you have a cooking video, learning how to cook an apple pie. You have to pause it to then do the thing, and then you play it again, then you pause it, do the thing, then you stop doing the thing and play it again, and back and forth like that. It's terrible. Video tutorials for things, I don't even have to talk about cooking. Like a tutorial on an audio or video software is always a pain in the ass for me because of that. I'm always speeding them up also. I prefer text tutorials, you know? Will Fall Guys be with viewers? Yeah, you can join tomorrow. It's gonna be open to that. It's only when we have a special occasion, like we're trying to do something specific, like the 500 round endurance that I was saying over my head on. I wish there was an official Blender emoji. There should be that. At least there's a T emoji. Feel free to put that in the chat. I hate doing that. Cooking books are better, yeah. Just, usually I don't like that. I do appreciate those people who do tutorials that are like something that doesn't take long and you see the video and it's like a minute and a half. Okay, yeah. Do I still speed them up? Yes, I do, but at least it's shorter one way or another, you know? I've always considered doing a tutorial for something though. I remember there was this class I took some years ago and you had to kind of... There was an assignment you had to do and I ended up like doing a tutorial. I don't remember, you had to teach people how to do something and I did it and it was like, okay, this actually is not a bad experience to do, but to actually watch it is another story, you know? Yeah, another story. I'm drinking my tea right now, having some Ceylon Black. Maybe very fitting for Sinny's tea right there. We should have a Sinny's cha or a Paul cha guys here somewhere. But that's definitely a good one. I wonder if I should keep that Sinny's tea there permanently. Also, another thing is that I may want to put a filter on it. It does stick out a little bit too much, maybe. That's okay. What was I gonna say? Oh yeah, that's all I wanted to say about the audio stuff. It's a very... That's terrifying. Nice one, Karma. Yeah, we're gonna be doing like a Pokemon... Not a tier list of Pokemon, but something akin to it. I'm gonna be doing... Probably should also do the things like these in a stream dedicated to that, but... we can do whatever we want on Tuesday Talk as long as it's not a video game. As long as it's Zatsudan, right? Zatsudan... There's no way to literally translate it in English in the way it is in Japanese from what I understand, but it means something like free talk or just... I've seen it translated as like... What was it that... Masahiro Sakurai in his channel, you know, the creator of Smash and Kirby, he had like a... The English version of his channel had a translation for Zatsudan that is not just chatting or free talk or something like that. Just like a free box, something like that. But yeah, something like that. But yeah, anyway, that's it. I'm very in love though. I'm very in love. I expressed this on the debut stream, the new model debut stream. It's not a debut stream, it's the debut for the new model, not for me. Okay, Phoenix Wright explained that. I expressed how much I'm in love with the screen and the way, you know, the way I look with the screen here. Oh shoot, am I freezing? We're dropping frames. Hold on. I'm freezing. Okay. So at last we've reached the first bug with this. Hold on. Stream is fine for you? Okay. No, but I'm kind of freezing here. I'm not moving as fast as I should be, as I should. I'm gonna have to restart myself here. For some reason my movement feels slower. Okay, I think it's a little bit better now. The way translation never grab back. There we go. That's the one. That's the one. You know it, Karma. You know it. Thank you for telling me. It's a bit choppy. Okay. I think it was in the stream. No, I wasn't talking about the stream. I was talking about me. But yeah, you know, coming closer to being pretty much like a live 2D model in this way, it always looks a lot better like this. Like I could have had this screen. Well, I didn't have the assets then, but I could have had this screen with my previous self, but it doesn't fit as well. I'm slowing down again. Hold on. I'm gonna restart my VTuber software. Hold on. Hopefully this doesn't happen a lot. Could it be the model itself I had? It's a model that's more busy, but hopefully it's not that. Yeah, just let me adjust myself here. Right, I think it's a little bit better now. It's better now, but is it gonna keep slowing down all the time? I may have to find a fix for it. But hopefully, again, it doesn't happen too often. Let me reduce the music volume. I can't hear myself that much. But yeah, I love how it looks on this screen. I tested it out before, right? But then, when I did like zoom-ins, for example, like this, it just looks so good in this way too. And I was just enamored with it in that way. Let me just get back to the... Well, it's not the same position, but this works too. Internet's not that good in the alternate dimension. No, man. It's more than... See, it's multiple dimensions and it gets really messy because of that. But sometimes it kind of gets messed up. You're streaming to multiple dimensions at once. I've heard that when you multi-stream to YouTube and Twitch like that, it can be that way. I was considering it for the new model debut, but... Maybe for a future other kind of debut, maybe. Maybe. But I don't know if I have the internet for like even 2 streams like that on a higher quality. Like, yeah. I gotta test if we can do 1080p 60 for these kinds of streams. I don't know if it's the internet or if it's my computer. I know it's my computer, but I don't know if the internet also plays a part in it. When I've tested it, it's just not running well. But that's with the video game. When we're just chatting, we can do quite a few things. But yeah, you know, going back earlier to that, the grab bag translation for Zatsudan, it just means that it can be like a bunch of like random miscellaneous things. So it's just, you know, it can be anything in a way. So there's that. That's what I meant about Zatsudan. So that's why we can do all sorts of things like do... Oh yeah, I didn't say what we're gonna do, right? There's gonna be a favorite Pokemon of every type in every generation, and it also has a lot of extra stuff. Favorite legendary of that generation, so I'm not gonna consider the I'm just gonna consider the non-legendary and non-mythical Pokemon for the favorite of each type. And then also what else do we have? And then also a bunch of other extras. Favorite regional bird and stuff like that. As for me, YouTube is more convenient on mobile. Twitch is lower latency and has emo, so I just use both. Yeah, YouTube is better on mobile, I find. Or maybe it has been just me, but hey, watching a stream on YouTube works a lot better than watching a stream on Twitch on the phone. And I haven't been able to update my Twitch app in forever, so for the longest time now, I haven't even been able to watch any streams there. It's good for opening the chat of the stream, but the stream just never loads. It just buffers on the first frame that appears on the screen, and it's there forever. But the chat is fine. Why not update it? Because I don't have space on my phone. That's the reason why. And I'm not gonna have it for a while. And I think maybe even my SD card got damaged. Even if it didn't get damaged, you can't transfer every app to it. The SD card saved me a lot though. So there's that. There's a lot of apps that haven't been updated, but some of them always have to take the priority. I had to delete a lot of things. It kind of sucked. That's why I also say that sometimes I can't have Renshu in there. Do I have it installed right now? I may have uninstalled it already. Let me take a look quickly. See, it just shows you even if I have it installed, I haven't used it. Because I do have it installed, I just checked. I do have it. But yeah, so Pokemon, man. It's a yellow fever that's been taking me again. Yellow because of Pikachu, you know. How old is the phone? I got it 5 years ago in 2018. And it wasn't like, you know, I don't have the money to buy the latest phone at the time, so it's what was the name again? Samsung J7, Samsung Galaxy J7 Prime? Yeah, it's that one. I don't know how old it was in 2018, but you know, it's at least 5 years old. Try modding my Twitch app to remove ads and it worked until it's time to update, and I had to go through the process of modding the newest version. Oh, I have no idea about any of that. I have no idea about it. I just eat the ads yourself now. Yeah, eat the ads. They want to get in your face, they're gonna get eaten. Hahaha, that's gonna show them. Okay, actually, I didn't mean to sound kind of sarcastic like that. Okay, I'm slowing down again. Hopefully it doesn't look bad. Man, that kind of sucks. I got my first official phone in 2018 and it was a Samsung S9. Ah, very nice. The same year. Very nice. I had no idea about what the letters and the numbers mean in the Samsung models. And by the way, I don't know why I'm slowing down. This did not happen on... No, yeah, we've only been live for like 20 minutes and It's only been a little bit of time with this. No, it slows down sometimes and then it doesn't. And it didn't happen on Sunday. So I don't think it's the model itself that makes that happen. Because when I did tests before the new model debut stream, you know, I didn't do them for this long. So I never did see how long it's there. It was purple too! Very nice. Of course, you know, I'm gonna like that. I'm gonna like that. The phone I have is just black. And what's it called? The cover, the casing, the protector, it's also black. It's just that. But with Pokemon, this is why I wanted to get the capture card so we can at least stream one Pokemon game and see how I feel about the experience. A traditional Pokemon game. Pokemon Violet was going to be my choice. It's still the choice when eventually we get the capture card. They get to be quite expensive. And if I cheap out on like those super cheap options, from what I've seen, they really don't work. It's like a scam kind of. But before that, I wanted to do the Pokemon TCG as well, the Game Boy version. But speaking of that, you know, I've been playing Pokemon TCG live. I think I want to stream it again. I think it will be possible to stream it. I might do the stream here on YouTube. The last one was on Twitch, if I'm not mistaken. So I'll be happy to do more of those. I found out that you can redeem codes to get decks and packs and all that, and like they sell them, and like a pack code is like, depending on the pack, you go from like 20 cents to like 99 cents USD. And I'm so tempted to just buy a few of them. And decks, you know, they get to be a bit more expensive, but depending on the deck, you have like a 199 USD deck. There are some that are like 12.99, but like, man, I want to spend my money now. Stop me. Unless you consider BlackBerry as a smartphone, my first one was a Samsung Note 4. I don't know, depends on what you consider the smartphone, right? For me, a smartphone has always been something with a touch screen, but that doesn't necessarily mean it's a smartphone when I think about it. Stop! Okay. Stop me. I don't know, if it's just a few cents, I mean, I don't know. I used my mom's old S2 before I got my first phone. Yeah, before this one, I had a Samsung, I think it's Galaxy again. They all have Galaxy in the name of something. Samsung Galaxy S3 Mini. It was a good one. Think of the trip to Japan. Good one right there. But it's just a few cents. Well, in USD at least. And then I just play games on it. Ah, there you go. Yeah. What did I do on my previous phone? Oh yeah, I did have some games. Pinball Arcade was a nice one I got. Nearly 10 years ago, oh my gosh. It was a really good one. I remember I had like the... You know, pinball machines have this thing where like... They have this special mode that you have to unlock by hitting certain parts of the machine, of the pinball course, if you will. And it's so difficult to do it. It's like a mode that 1 in 10 players are able to reach, and I was able to reach it with one of them. Bejeweled is amazing. Oh yeah. You know, I'm still kind of leaning towards the left, but at least it looks good in this case because it looks like I'm looking towards the chat, which I am. But I hate how it's always towards the left like this. So I'm kind of gonna recenter myself. It's just my positioning on my desk and the position of my monitors and all that. Let me drink some more tea. I hope you're all having tea as well. If you're not, that's okay. That's perfectly okay. For this Tea Tuesday talk. If not, at least get a Sinise tea in your Pokemon game if it has it. I think there are Sinise teas and Bolt tea guys in Scarlet and Violet. Coffee is tea! You're banned, Karma. You're banned. You're banned from this channel without actually getting banned. No, you know, I've been having a few extra cups of coffee recently because of Godo from Phoenix Wright. And we had Godo included in the new model debut video, which I'm not sure if I'm going to upload anymore as its own video, but yeah. But it was nice. But although, you know, coffee, the problem with it is that it doesn't always energize me. Sometimes it makes me sleepier, sometimes it doesn't do anything. There's like a 33.3% chance for each of those things. 33.33333% chance. There's 3 possibilities there. It wakes me up, it energizes me as it's supposed to, or it does the opposite of that, or it doesn't do anything for me. Tea, on the other hand, always hits me. But sometimes in the morning it doesn't hit me. Something about the morning. What I've been doing when it's a tough morning for me to stay out of bed, today was like that. You know, commitments aside, You know, if I have something like work, like let's say at 9 a.m., I'm still just gonna go back to bed as soon as I can instead of waking up like super early. So I'll wake up the closest possible time so that I can make it to work. But it would be better to wake up earlier than that, right? And then when I don't have work, I just keep sleeping in. So what I've been doing is taking an energy drink that just barely hits me apparently, but it's enough to keep me awake. So what I do is I stay in bed, I get a game on my phone or on my Switch, and I play it while I'm drinking that. I do have something for breakfast though. I don't want to take that on an empty stomach. I took yogurt today. I have a nice coconut yogurt, sugar-free, supposedly. Sometimes I take it with granola or something. And then I have the rest of the breakfast because that's more like a pre-breakfast or first breakfast like a hobbit. Because sometimes that's with an ADHD, but yeah. T rhymes with, I don't know, with Lee? The last name Lee? Like Bruce Lee? I take coffee and I can't sleep for 10 hours. Yeah, it's different for a lot of people. I mean, I still don't drink it at night though, because sometimes it does do that opposite effect, right? So it's risky. It do bring a lot of energy to stream. I know. When it comes to a stream, I'm always gonna have that energy, nearly always, I think. But then with tea is always better. Tea runs with bean. Oh! I mean, it has the N at the end, but I see what you mean. So we go from Dr. Robotnik's mean bean machine to the mean tea machine. Sign me up! Oh, tea runs with B. I'm so sorry. That's what you were thinking of, Skihara. I was thinking of Bruce Lee drinking tea. Picturing Bruce Lee with a cup of tea. He probably had tea at some point. Yeah, they had Chinese heritage, I think so. Or was it something different? No. Hong Kong, I think it was. I'm sorry if I got it wrong. You know, the tea is great over there. The one I'm having is from Sri Lanka. It's called Ceylon Black. That was the name of Sri Lanka before, Ceylon. Hello, Khaiden. How are you doing? I'm doing fantastically, Envy. And I'm doing even better now that you're here. It's great to see you. Having tea and just chatting is something I love about these streams. This is really the second friggin' stream we're doing like this. Like, we had stream number 0, as I call it, because I was interrupted by something that was not supposed to happen, but there was a misunderstanding and I had to end the stream earlier and take care of something. Then we had the last stream we had for Tea Tuesday Talk was the one in which I announced this new model. So I guess in that way it fits. But I want to keep making it a regular thing, like the Japanese learning streams. Funny enough, when I tried doing those Japanese learning streams, all sorts of other conditions happened also that made them not be frequent at first, and then they finally became as frequent as I intended them to be. So maybe it's gonna be the same here. I didn't have tea today, but that's because I have a bunch of tea boxes in my pantry. It's an oolong story. Oh, yes. Oolong is a fantastic tea. I haven't had that in a while. Well, actually, it hasn't been that long. I had some oolong samples I used like a month ago or two. I need to get back through my tea stash because there's some old teas in there. Glad to hear that. Oh, yeah. I'm playing some Toho while watching. Okay, Skera. That pun hurt? No. It's okay. Puns are welcome here. Oh, yes. It may hurt at first, but it's the kind of love. It's the kind of love hurt. I can't phrase this. The kind of pain you feel when you're in love with something. Oh, yes. There we go. But yeah, you know, I'm kind of in retrospect thinking that we should have had a Pokemon TCG live stream this week. Or something related to Pokemon, you know? Pokemon Showdown. But we're definitely going to have them next week. So stay tuned to that. Leave me alone! Leave them alone! There you go. You are all... Hey, if you drink tea, though, you are an absolute devotee of this stream, okay? Okay. A tea maniac, no. A devotee. A tea devotee. See, if I weren't themed around stars, those would be... There are 2 other themes I think I would go for. There's some way others that fit me. After all, I'm multidimensional, but like... I would either be like a pumpkin-themed stream. So October would be really nice for that. Halloween-ish. Sorry that we killed you, MV. Didn't mean to. And, or it would be something related to tea a lot. Some really cool tea VTuber, tea-themed VTubers out there. I love them. I don't know if I've seen ones fully based on like Halloween-styled pumpkins. I don't think... I've seen Halloween-themed streamers, but I don't know if I've seen one related to pumpkins specifically. Kind of like Halloween, the band. My favorite band of all time. Oh yeah, we're gonna take a look at some pumpkin Pokemon. Like, there's this beautiful pair of Pokemon called Pumpkaboo and Gourgeist. And their shiny version makes them become a purple pumpkin. Are you kidding me? I gotta get their shinies. Multidimensional and multi-layered. Multi-layered, oh yes. Multidimensional, multi-layered, multifarious. There you go. That's a lot of multis or multis, but it fits me. So of course we should have that many. What was the other thing I was gonna say? So we'll see how Pokemon TCG Live multifacetious. Am I pronouncing facetious right? Anyway, there's a lot of multis. We have 4 different words. We also have multifarious. I mentioned that. Matt Hardy used that word, the wrestler. Multifarious Matt Hardy. But yeah, multifacetic. Now we have 4. Although it's kind of similar to multifacetious. If I'm pronouncing it right. So yeah. I'm really thinking we will have a pack or 2 in a future Pokemon TCG live stream though. It'll be good. What I'm definitely gonna stop myself from doing for now, if ever, is buying the physical bloody cards, because I could really go haywire and just destroy my budget for streaming and video games for that, but no. Like, hey, I'm not getting the capture card because I bought myself 3 decks and 4 booster pack boxes, or well, that would be a lot more money, but still, you know. We're not going to Japan because I got boxes now of TCG Pokemon. It's a lot more fun than going to Japan. No, it's not. No, it's not. I'm not gonna do that. Let me get some more tea here. Oh yeah, by the way, I saw that earlier today they announced the PlayStation 5 Slim. So, does it usually take them 3 years to introduce a Slim model? Because they've had it for like a while. I think the PS3 had that. I don't know if the PS4 did. PS2, I think, had that too. The PS1 technically did have a Slim model. They just didn't call it that. The one that became more round, you know? It's okay, you can buy the cards with revenue from the Khaiden card merch. Ooh. Are we gonna have a separate fund for that? We're gonna have a bar down here. Forget about the wish list. You can see that in the lower left corner. Hey, you can take a look at my wish list on Throne, by the way. No, it's gonna be something different. Or we're gonna have just the wish list is gonna be full of card packs and card decks. Probably should put the capture card on the wish list. Of course, if I do buy it, I'm just gonna remove it from there. But yeah. What was I gonna say? PS5 Slim. So yeah, you know, I'm not really interested in getting a PlayStation 5. It's not something I need to do. Final Fantasy 16 is the biggest thing I'm interested in right now, but it's gonna come to PC next year, I think. Spider-Man 2 is there. Haven't even played the first Spider-Man, but it did come to PC, so I'm guessing the second one is gonna come in. There's a lot of games called Spider-Man 2. It's a funny thing. And then you have the movie. Of course, if you tell them apart, you say something like Amazing Spider-Man 2 for the one with Andrew Garfield, and then Spider-Man Homecoming. It was the second one with Tom Holland and the MCU, I think. No, that's the first one. The second one is Far From Home, right? No Way Home is the third one. So yeah. No, the Spider-Man games look like fun. And from what I've seen, you have the entire gallery of rogues for Spider-Man in a fun way. If I ever get myself into one of the universes for the Marvel and DC multiverses, I want it to be one where you have all the characters that are major, like every single hero and villain that's been there that's major enough. I want to get into something like that. That's why the MCU kind of doesn't attract me as much, even though I've seen a lot of movies from it. I'm not bothering with all the series because it doesn't have the X-Men, doesn't have the Fantastic Four. It puts Spider-Man until later. It's missing some other things. Namor kind of appeared recently in a weird way. Like, I want it to be the full experience, and it doesn't. It always feels incomplete to me. As good as it is. Honestly, I've been thinking of watching some of the animated series, maybe, but I'm not gonna have time for that anytime soon. Just something for the future, maybe. The future. This raid is gonna be in another lifetime. But yeah, those are the things I want to talk about there. There's been some novelty recently about thinking about getting some of the consoles. That could be really cool to get them for, right? If I get a PS5, I mean, I have to get the capture card also. No, we gotta save also for the upgrades for the PC. That's something that's eventually gonna come. And honestly, like, I'm not prioritizing saving for the Live 2D model anymore. Not for now. Because I have this look now for myself, right? So we can do that. It can take a little while longer to go for the Live 2D debut. That's the one that I'm gonna treat like a full VTuber debut. Objection! But Khaiden has been streaming for years. How can it be a debut? Well, it can be one. Yeah, this model is awesome. I know. Kage is Kage, by the way. At Orange Kage. That's Orange Kage on Twitter. He has commissions open. He also does art. I have to commission him eventually for art. Again, the budget is low right now. I'm pretty much dry this month and the next month, honestly. How long have you been streaming? For quite a while now. And I also... like, the most regular activities as a VTuber have been since 2021. So, there's that. There's also that MV. Okay, give me a moment. Gotta take a quick bio break here. I'll leave you with the BRB screen. Oh yeah, this is the first time we're really using the BRB screen, so there we go. There we go. Stay connected. I'll be back. Omatase shimashita. So nice to be returning to the screen. Still like this. But yeah, thank you for waiting. I think we're gonna move to the little tier-ish list. He's back. Hello, Micro. I was watching your stream earlier, by the way. The song you were doing was amazing. You gotta tell me the name of the song you were doing today because it was hitting all the right buttons for me. Like, something about it. Ayoshi. Yes. Let's go. But what was I gonna say? Which one of the three? Oh, the one that said something about writing on the wall. Looked like a Genshin song to me, but I'm not sure. Something about writing on the wall. I don't know the name, so So yeah. Yeah, sorry to mention it. Sorry to put you on the spot like that. But yeah. I think we're about to go into the Pokemon thingy. As a Genshin fan, so I'm gonna start exactly like that. Okay. I'll look into it. And your voice, your superstar voice, my God, it's such a joy to listen to. Such a joy. Oh yeah, but yeah, talking about the PS5, something I might get someday if I want to just splurge a little bit, but not too much to get, getting the whole PS5 is maybe getting the DualSense controller. Because I feel like the DualShock 4 is just such a perfect controller as it is, honestly. I can see why it's more comfortable in the DualSense 5, but it's still super comfortable in the DualShock 4, and I have one. I know because I've used it for years now. Thank you, of course. You are most welcome. Oh yeah, I wanted to read the Star Maker quotes though before we do that. So, going back to talking about ourselves as a star cluster. A multi-dimensional star cluster in human-ish form. My brother got the DualSense to play PC games, yeah, like, I've never used my DualShock 4 on a PlayStation 4, and I think the PlayStation 5 takes it too. Never. I guess maybe some friends invite me to play with them and they have a PS4 or PS5, I could take it with me and I could play with it, but it's never happened. I don't know if any friends have that. I know some friends had the Xbox One, but I don't know if they bought the Series SX or something like that. Sometimes it's just a Bluetooth compatibility for PC, yeah. It's not optimized for PC, like, I have this thing that I highly recommend, maybe called the Magic NS. So that's Magic-NS. It's for the Nintendo Switch, but it also works for PC. I always use it to put my DualShock 4 in. And you can use an X input, like for Xbox controllers, but it's able to have the DualShock 4. I don't know if it will work with the DualSense, maybe. But it works like an Xbox controller. Like if it's a non-Steam game, I do that because Steam recognizes that. Final Fantasy 14 also recognizes a DualShock 4 correctly, but yeah. For example, Fall Guys, which is not on Steam for me, I play like that. I have to do the X input. But I can go for D input, which is the one for PlayStation, if it's on Steam. And it's gonna recognize it like PlayStation controller, and some games are gonna show you the PlayStation buttons, like the symbols for them. And it's nice to see them. It's always nice to see them. I wish World of Final Fantasy would have those, but still it doesn't have them. Maybe there's a PC mod that has that, but I'm not gonna bother at this point. I don't wanna break the game, maybe. So I could put maybe some Steam Cloud saves and then... Look at the maniac I am, right? I'm maniacal about these things, but... I'm maniacal also because I'm a star clustering human form. Okay? Okay, let me read a quote from Star Maker to explain it to you. Or actually, before I do that, I should tell you what Star Maker is, should I? Just a little bit more about that. I'm gonna try not to read the plot synopsis too much, but I'm gonna describe it because... So what is Star Maker? It is a book by Olaf Stapledon that is the entire future history of this universe and a little bit of some other universes beyond. It is kind of like a follow-up to Last and First Man, which is describing the entire future history of humanity. And, these books, I call them books because depending on how you see it, they're not novels. It kind of reads like a text documentary of future history. But let me read this to you from the Wikipedia entry. Star Maker is a science fiction novel by British writer Olaf Stapledon, published in 1937! 1937! And it was so ahead of its time! It's such a timeless novel. My God. The book describes a history of life in the universe dwarfing in scale Stapledon's previous book, Last and First Man, from 1930. A history of the human species over 2 billion years. That's Last and First Man. Star Maker tackles philosophical themes such as the essence of life, of birth, decay, and death, and the relationship between creation and creator. A pervading theme is that of progressive unity within and between different civilizations. Some of the elements and themes briefly discussed prefigure later fiction concerning genetic engineering and alien life forms. Sir Arthur C. Clarke considers Star Maker to be probably the most powerful work of imagination ever written. And I think I agree with that. And Brian W. Aldiss called it the one great holy book of science fiction. I think I agree with that too. Let me read a little bit of the plot, hopefully not spoiling a lot. And let me tell you something, before I read this book, I read the entire plot summary on Wikipedia. It's been over 10 years since that, so maybe the summary was different then, but it pretty much told you everything that happens in the book. And there was still so much to discover in it, despite knowing what's gonna happen. It's like... Yeah, the best way I can describe it. Let's see. A human narrator from England is transported out of his body via unexplained means. Via unexplained means. I think it's via, right? He realizes he is able to explore space and other planets. After exploring a civilization on another planet in our galaxy at a level of development similar to our own that existed millions of years ago, thousands of light years from Earth, the quote-unquote other Earth, in some detail, his mind merges with that of one of its inhabitants, and as they travel together, they are joined by still more minds or group minds. I've been telling you about this for a long time. A mind composed of multiple different minds. It's not a hive mind. It's a mind where there's still individuality in each member, but then something greater happens because of that in that group mind. Again, think of Vegeta from Dragon Ball is kind of like that, but even higher in scale. Kamen Rider Double, maybe. Well, no, Kamen Rider Double is not a good example of this. Because when they fuse, it's just their two minds, and they don't have like a third mind happen because their two minds fused. But yeah, this snowball kind of combine Kamen Rider Double and Vegeta, because Vegeta has a new mind, but Vegeta and Goku are not there anymore. But their individuality, you know, they weren't assimilated into each other. It was rather their unique personalities were able to just make Vegeta be what Vegeta is. If that makes any sense. Here's an example of what it isn't from Dragon Ball as well. Majin Buu, when he absorbs someone, that's not what it is. That's not what it is. Or not like a hive mind either. Anyway, this snowballing process is paralleled by the expansion of the book's scale, describing more and more planets in less and less detail because it just keeps going further in scale. Eventually there's a galactic mind, and there's a universal mind with a supreme moment of the cosmos. But yeah, and I'll read the next paragraph for you because there's something very important in it. The disembodied travelers encounter many ideas that are interesting from both science fictional and philosophical points of view. These include many imaginative descriptions of species, civilizations and methods of warfare, descriptions of the multiverse, and the idea that the stars and pre-galactic nebulae are intelligent beings operating on vast time scales. There it is right there. And this other key idea. A key idea is the formation of collective minds from many telepathically linked individuals on the level of planets, galaxies, and eventually the cosmos itself. This is what I've been talking about. Did you see? This is what I've been talking about. Yeah, that's all I'm gonna read for the plot from Wikipedia. You can read the rest, or you can read the book. It is a very heavy read, I found, because most books I read, I just blaze through them. Sometimes I miss some details, but it's because, you know, it's so exciting for me to read them. I just want to keep going through it. You may know the feeling, I don't know. Just want to see what happens next. You read fast through it without really missing what's going on, though. I'm just not picturing it like a movie in my head in the sense that it's going so fast. It's like a fast-forwarded movie. But I'm still appreciating it even though it's fast-forwarded. Unlike an actual movie, if I fast-forward it, it's not going to be as nice. Well, let me read some quotes. I have an idea here. I'm going to download the cover of the book, and I'm going to put it on the screen while I'm doing that. I could have a whole stream talking about it. A whole stream. Let me tell you that. I think I did have another cover saved somewhere, but I put it on the screen here. Wow, wow, wow. Wow, wow, wow. This kind of music is good for what I'm talking about. Synthwave like this. At the time when I read it, I was playing a little bit later during that, or kind of after that, or even kind of before that. Assassin's Creed Revelations just came out and I started playing it. Mostly in the well, I finished the story and then I went to the multiplayer and played a lot of that. I mean, a lot of that. And there's this song on the menu of the multiplayer that just fits it so well, called Abstergo Industries. For like just the scale of what they're doing in that book, the ideas they're saying there, just the sheer cosmic feel to it, the cosmic larger than life feel to it, is really captured by that song. At least for me. Where is the book? Hold on. Give me a second here to load it. Star Maker First Edition. This is a good enough size. Where do I put it? Here? I think here is okay. There's a lot. I saved quite a few quotes about multi-minds, and about star minds and stuff like that. It's a key part of the book when it's discovered that stars have a sentience and intelligence, which we do. Let me tell you that. I think they actually don't mention a star cluster being alive and being a mind together, but they imply it. They do mention twin stars, though. The quote about the stars, let me just read them in the order I saved them. One of the multi-mind things to remember is selling X in Ben 10. Nice! I don't know if I remember that. I saw a little bit of Ben 10. Didn't get to see most of the sequels. It mostly was just the first one. I remember Gray Matter, I think it was called. But yeah. There's some examples in a lot of media out there. But this one is just beyond any of them. It's like cranked up to 11 maybe? But anyway. So the first one I saved. In time, it became clear that we, individual inhabitants of a host of other worlds, were playing a small part in one of the great movements by which the cosmos was seeking to know itself and even see beyond itself. The next quote, though we were and are a multitude drawn from a multitude of spheres, we represent only a tiny fraction of the diversity of the whole cosmos. Excuse me. Feel like that could come into play at some point. Let me have some more synthwave music because of what we're doing right now. One that's really kind of like very like solemn in feeling. Doesn't feel like sort of a jam you're dancing to. Not that that's bad, but what I'm looking for right now. There was this one called... Where the place is the one I'm looking for. Anyway, we're just gonna use this. A host of individual bodies were possessed together by a single individual mind of human rank. The body of this mind was multiple, but the mind itself was almost as firmly knit as the mind of a man. So they were talking about this composite being. It's not like what I'm talking about though, it's kind of the opposite of what I'm talking about, in which is many individuals joined in a big mind that comes together thanks to all the individuals. This is the opposite of that. This is one individual that is only able to happen through many minds of a lower intelligence than a human. It's like, imagine a bunch of birds joining together through some sort of radio telepathic wave, but also physically joining together to form a body that's humanoid maybe. And then you have a human mind. Or well, akin to a human. For each one of these mobile-minded clouds of little birds was in fact an individual approximately of our own spiritual order, indeed a very human thing, torn between the beast and the angel, capable of ecstasies of love and hate towards other such bird clouds, capable of wisdom and folly, and the whole gamut of human passions from swinnishness to ecstatic contemplation. Okay, and those are the quotes about that. The next quotes are about other things, about the protagonists. You know, that human traveler that joined a lot of other kinds of different minds. Let's see. In our new condition, our community was so perfected that the experiences of each were available to all, and I possessed all their memories of former, separate existence in their respective native worlds. That's what I've been talking about. There's a new mind that comes from joining all the minds together, but all the individual minds are still part of it, intact, in a way. They're just not single minds anymore, but they're still fully there. They're not assimilated into a hive mind, and a lot of their intelligence is lost if they're isolated after that. No. And honestly, we as the star cluster, when I say I'm a star cluster, I say I'm a multi-dimensional star cluster. Here's something that I need to add to my lore about this, okay? The thing, oh, I'm not even centered correctly on this. Hold on. Let me... I need to do the big zoom in. By the way, I added some new Twitch emotes. I redid the animated emotes to reflect my new self, but I did forget to no. Sorry, I don't know what I'm saying. No, I did add some new ones. One of them is like a zoom in emote. Whenever I do this on Twitch, eventually I hope we do have them here on YouTube. Do we have animated emotes on YouTube? I don't remember. Do we have them? I don't think we have them, but I'm like 70% sure of that. See, here's the thing about us, the star cluster. We are a little bit beyond being just a star cluster. We have joined with other minds in our journeys through the multi-dimensional, well, through the omniverse. There's no such thing as the multiverse. There's multiple multiverses. And we are stars from different dimensions joined together, besides the stars in the same dimension itself. We join with other non-star individuals, don't you see? And every time we experience something, like Final Fantasy XIV, like maybe even Fall Guys, like World of Final Fantasy, those minds join the collective. But again, it's not a hive mind. It's not a sort of evil thing if it sounds like that. It's something much greater than a single individual mind. And that's part of the lore, as we just saw from the quote I'm talking about. Now let me see. Some philosophically minded reader may ask, do you mean that the many experiences of individuals became a single individual, or having a single stream of experience? Or do you mean that there remain many experiencing individuals having numerically distinct but exactly similar experiences? The answer is that I do not know. But this I know. I gradually woke into possession of each other's experience, and also into more lucid intelligence. Whether as experience we remain many or became one, I do not know. Or we can describe it like this, it's both of them. It's a yes and no answer. It must not be supposed that this strange mental community blotted out the personalities of the individual explorers. Human speech has no accurate term to describe our peculiar relationship. It would be as untrue to say that we had lost our individuality, or were dissolved into a communal individuality, as to say that we were all the white distinct individuals. But that we were all the wild distinct individuals, sorry. Though the pronoun I now applied to us all collectively, the pronoun we also applied to us. In one respect, namely unity of consciousness, we were indeed a single experiencing individual, yet at the same time we were in a very important and delightful manner distinct from one another. That quote just says it right there. I don't need to explain it any other way. I should save it and put it in the lore. Like VTuber.com. I have a page there and I should add it to that. I have this nice section for the lore. It's really good. But yeah. Though there was only the single communal I, there was also, so to speak, a manifold and variegated us, an observed company of very diverse personalities, each of whom expressed creatively his own unique contribution to the whole enterprise of cosmical exploration, while all were bound together in a tissue of subtle, personal relationships. That just speaks for itself. And I'm so glad I saved that quote at last. I had to really stop myself while collecting these quotes from reading the whole book again. I'm gonna save that for another time. Like, I re-experienced Star Maker, it's already been a couple of years, it was 2021, on the 10-year anniversary in which I first read it, and I listened to the audiobook this time. Anytime I re-experience any media, I try to make the experience different if I'm able to. So like, if I read a book, the next time I experience it, because, you know, I can't say I read it because it's not reading, it's listening. The next time I experience it, it's in the audio form and vice versa. There have been some books that I've experienced only in audio so far. Like, I went for the audiobook instead of going for the physical book. And they were still a lot of fun. There's this great trilogy by... What was the name? Scalzi was the name of the last name of this person, but... Well, this trilogy called the Interdependency Trilogy. That I heard the entire trilogy as audiobook. It was great. Will Wheaton was the narrator. You wouldn't even know that if you didn't see the name, though. Alright, let's get back to the quotes here. To put the matter somewhat differently, though in respect of our identity of awareness we were a single individual, in respect of our diverse and creative idiosyncrasies we were distinct persons observable by the common eye. Each one, as the common eye, experienced the whole company of individuals, including his individual self, as a group of actual persons, differing in temperament and private experience. Each one of us experienced all as a real community, bound together by such relations of affection and mutual criticism. Yet on another plane of experience, the plane of creative thought and imagination, the single communal attention could withdraw from this tissue of personal relationships. Instead, it concerned itself wholly with the exploration of the cosmos. With partial truth, it might be said that, while for love we were distinct, for knowledge, for wisdom, and for worship, we were identical. In the following chapters, which deal with the cosmical experiences of this communal I, it would be logically correct to refer to the exploring mind always in the singular, using the pronoun I, and saying simply I did so and thought so and so. Nevertheless, the pronoun we will still be generally employed so as to preserve the true impression of a communal enterprise. See, I feel like, well, let me rephrase that. We feel like we should be using the pronoun we more often when speaking about ourselves. When Khaiden and Tajigen is speaking, they are referring to themselves as we. I wonder if it makes it more complicated though. That's why I mostly gone for I. Like when I do a tweet or I talk on the stream, right? Like I'm doing right now, I say I. But yeah, each one of us had lived his individual active life in one of or other of the many worlds, and for each one individually, his own little blundering career in his remote native world retained a peculiar concreteness and glamour, like the vividness which mature men find in childhood memories. One aspect of the communal experience of the explorers I have still to mention. Each of us had originally set out upon the great adventure, mainly in the hope of discovering what part was played by a community in the cosmos as a whole. This question had yet to be answered, but meanwhile another question was becoming increasingly insistent. Our crowded experiences in the many worlds and our new lucidity of mind had bred in each of us a sharp conflict of intellect and feeling. Just like I'm leaving that quote on a cliffhanger. But thank you for the love with the reactions, by the way. Still haven't been able to figure out a way to show them. To be fair, I haven't looked up how to do that in a while. If anybody knows, please, by all means, send me a message or something telling me. Some of you who are also streamers, let me know if you know how to show the YouTube reaction thingy. You know, the heart, where you can have other reactions. It's not just hearts. The heart surrounded by a circle. The heart in a bubble, you could say. I like it. Reminds me of like some video games. Super Monkey Ball. Well, it's not bubbles, it's balls, but some Sonic thing. Some Sonic power-ups. Reminds me of as well. In the classic games at least. No, in the later games too. But yeah, because when I Googled it, I don't know how to Google it properly to get the result I want. Like, I search how to show a YouTube chat reaction or how to show YouTube reaction, and I get all sorts of other results. I don't know how to phrase it to make it... yeah. Anyway. Anyway. Let's see the next quote. There came a time when our newfound communal mind attained such a degree of lucidity that it was able to maintain contact even with worlds that had passed far beyond the mentality of terrestrial man. Of these lofty experiences I, who am once more reduced to the state of a mere individual human being, have only the most confused memory. I am like one who, in the last extremity of mental fatigue, tries to recapture the more penetrating intuitions that he achieved in his lost freshness. He can recover only faint echoes and a vague glamour. But even the most fragmentary recollections of the cosmical experiences which befell me in that lucid state deserve recording. One thing that they make clear in Star Maker in the book here is that a lot of what you read is not really what actually happened, but it's the best way it can be phrased in human terms, in human intelligence, you know? If you see a new color that humans can see, you possess another being, or you somehow expand your senses but then go back to your previous senses. How do you describe the new color you just saw? How do you describe it to someone so they can see that color? If you describe it, they're gonna say, oh, but that's not a new color, that's just another shade of red. It's not a shade that's usually seen. Well, it's crimson. You're talking about crimson. It is different, but it's also not a new color. No, that's not what I'm talking about. You have to find other ways to talk about it, which sound really weird, which sound like you're saying something else, but it's the best thing you can do. And that's what this book is. But it's still great though. There's a lot of exposition. Oh yeah, this book is, yeah, I've seen some like reviews or like things from other authors that said it's only exposition, but in a really good way. And I love exposition. I love when there's this big episode in something in which they reveal a lot of like crazy plot twists and revelations, but like 90% of the episode is dialogue like that. And the protagonist is just sitting, reacting to it. Oh my God. And barely saying anything, and the other person is talking about it. I love that. Love that. It's great sci-fi and fantasy content. Yeah. Yeah. Let's see the next quote though. Let me have the quotes speak for themselves too. With awe and wonder, so now we're reaching the part of the book in which, again, I'm spoiling something of the book. I hope it's okay from what I told you. You know, that it's okay even with the spoilers. For me, this was a book I couldn't read fast. Like, every paragraph I had to take my time with because they, like, I'm reading them right now, right? They introduce so many ideas in one paragraph that I have to stop for a moment to really understand what I'm reading here. It's a lot. The only other books that have ever done this for me, besides other Olaf Stapledon books like Last and First Man, have been the 3 Lord of the Rings books. Because, you know, Tolkien has a way of describing landscapes and stuff that is just so difficult for me to... Well, not difficult, but like I have to take my time to really imagine what he's describing right there. The Hobbit wasn't like this, but the Lord of the Rings was like that. I imagine that when I read the Silmarillion, it's gonna be even harder than the Lord of the Rings trilogy. Yeah, like if you've read the Silmarillion, this is kind of like that. Kinda. At least from what I've heard of the Silmarillion, because as I just said, I've never read it. Exactly, I was thinking of the Lord of the Rings. There you go, yeah. Let me get some more tea. See, I'm looking this way because I'm absorbing the Synesthete energies. And it's a purple liquid. It's a purple tea that he has right there. Of course I'm gonna love it. And Ghost is my favorite type. I mean, look at me. Do I not look like a Ghost type expert? Like a Ghost type maniac? Like a Hex maniac, kind of. Wanna be one of the big inspirations. Kind of like a male Hex maniac. If somehow I ever get to play Pokemon X and Y, I'm gonna just go nuts anytime I see a Hex maniac. Yes, my kindred spirit, let's battle! Like that one creepypasta girl from Gen 6. Yeah, you mean the Hex maniac, yeah. I don't know if there's been creepypastas with that. There probably have been, but I've never seen them. She just has a lot of like fan art and stuff too. And she's not even a gym leader or like a notable NPC. She's like, well, depending on what you consider the notable NPC, she's just a trainer. Like a hiker, like a lass, like a swimmer, you know, all the Hex maniacs look the same in that way. Just a regular NPC that you face. But it became so popular and I can see why. But I love her because I just relate to her so much. The moment where she traps you in a room and walks around. See, I haven't played the games she comes from, so I don't know if that's something in the game or that's something from a creepypasta. I mean, Ghost is super effective against itself, right? I get really scared with scary things. Like when I read some creepypastas, I was like, oh, this really is frightening. I'm gonna sleep with the light on because, damn. I'm gonna see Squidward in the corner just about to kill me or something. Right? Or, you know, Ben drowned and all that. No, I'm never gonna play Majora's Mask again. So I love Ghost type, but I also get quite frightened. And Dark is even like... Dark is the one that gets really, really like evil. I mean, it's called the evil type in Japanese. And it's super effective against Ghost, so yeah. Yeah, I have double weakness as a Ghost Psychic. I have double weakness to Dark and Ghost both. There you go. I haven't been able to dance that much. I've been busy. It's great to see you, Kiba! No, it's okay. It's great to see you. Hisashiburi. Been a while, but it's great to see you here. And I'm saying hello to you and as a new self. Glad you can make it. But yeah, now, yeah, so what's happening in Star Maker now is that a lot of civilizations are getting destroyed. You're having something like Star Wars. Only that it doesn't feel like Star Wars because of the way you're reading it, the way it's phrased, but that's basically what it is. There's a moment in which there's like galactic warfare like that. Within a galaxy, even within other galaxies. Intergalactic warfare, but... there's basically massive destruction like with a Death Star. Or even Starkiller. From The Force Awakens, right? And some civilizations are so awakened that... See, what happened to some awakened civilizations was that they had to defend themselves, and in doing that, they lost their lucidity, they lost the things that would make them so awakened, so lucid, because they had to focus on warfare and defending themselves and like bad things like that, if you will. Some of them just didn't defend themselves to preserve their spirit, so to speak. And they had a really, really relaxed attitude about themselves getting destroyed. Let's see the quotes. With awe and wonder, we experienced something of that exaltation and inner peace with which the doomed angelic populations met their end. Indeed, it was this experienced angelic exaltation in the hour of tragedy that gave us our first clear insight into the most spiritual attitude to fate. I need to remind myself of these quotes sometimes, you know, when hardship comes to me. It's kind of like there was this quote about, you know, ripples in the ocean. The ocean is so deep that ripples don't matter to it. If you make a hard splash on it, you know, like a hard splash to like that, if you do it on a person, it hurts them, like a slap on the face. This is nothing to the ocean because it's so deep. The deep vicissitudes of fate. Just, you know, you have some accident happen to you and you break your leg and I don't know, the surgery is so expensive that you lose your entire money in your bank. That kind of thing can feel like nothing with the right mentality on paper. So let's see here. It's kind of like that. It was strange to us that none of these 3 victims made any attempt to resist the attack. Indeed, not one inhabitant in any of these worlds considered for a moment the possibility of resistance. In every case, the attitude to disaster seemed to express itself in such terms as these. To retaliate would be to wound our communal spirit beyond cure. We choose rather to die. The theme of spirit that we have created must inevitably be broken short, whether by the ruthlessness of the invader or by our own resort to arms. It is better to be destroyed than to triumph in slaying the spirit. Such as it is, the spirit that we have achieved is fair, and it is indestructibly woven into the tissue of the cosmos. We die praising the universe in which at least such an achievement as ours can be. We die knowing that the promise of further glory We die knowing that the promise of further glory outlives us in other galaxies. We die praising the Star Maker, the Star Destroyer. A new quote I made, roll in hope. Nice quote. That is a nice quote. I'm losing my voice. Hold on. I'm having tea right now, but let me have some water too. So yeah, here was a whole world of sensitive and intelligent beings in the full tide of eager life and communal activity. Here were lovers newly come together, scientists in the midst of profound research, artists intent on new delicacies of apprehension, workers in 1,000 practical social undertakings of which man has no conception. Here in fact was all the rich diversity of personal lives that go to make up a highly developed world in action. And each of these individual minds participated in the communal mind of all. Each experienced not only as a private individual but as the very spirit of his race. Yet these calm beings faced the destruction of their world with no more distress seemingly than one of us would feel at the prospect of resigning his part in some interesting game. It's like, you get eliminated in Fortnite? The same way you feel there is the way you feel for this. Maybe you're distressed for a moment, but it's like, okay, well, my part is done. That's my fate. I did my best, I have no regrets. That's a Pokemon quote, by the way. Let's continue. And in the minds of the spectators of this impending tragedy, we observe no agony of compassion, but only such commiseration, tinged with humor, as we might feel for some distinguished tennis player who has knocked out in the first round of a tournament by some trivial accident such as a sprained ankle. Thanks for the alert, Kiba. The command doesn't... It's not really a command here on the YouTube side of things, but probably should do it. But thank you for the alert from the shadows. Why is it so hard for me to read out loud today? Some days I'm able to do it better than others, I don't know. Like my accent gets really funky when I read sometimes. Anyway. With difficulty we came to understand the source of this strange equanimity. Spectators and victims alike were so absorbed in cosmological research, so conscious of the richness and potentiality of the cosmos, and above all so possessed by spiritual contemplation, that the destruction was seen, even by the victims themselves, from the point of view which men would call divine. Their gay exaltation and their seeming frivolity were rooted in the fact that to them, the personal life, and even the life and death of individual worlds, appear chiefly as vital themes contributing to the life of the cosmos. So they use the word gay there, and you have to remember this is 1937. They're using gay in the meaning which is... the definition goes something like, gay is like super joyful, super happy and go lucky, you know, something like that. So that's what they mean there. I wonder how ChatGPT would summarize this book. That could be interesting. I don't even know how to use ChatGPT. Like, never really bothered to see that, you know. There's like a ton of... there's like a ton of different kind of AI you could use for text. I don't know why everybody is so enamored with ChatGPT. But to be fair, I haven't seen a lot. Maybe it's the best one out of all of them. But like, you can even just make a free account in Novel AI for like a brief paragraph and yeah. What, you're not a student right now, right? I guess not. I mean, there's a lot of them. Why is it ChatGPT specifically? I've looked up like rephraser bots and they just do the job for me just right. I compared to ChatGPT and it's the same for me. So yeah. I know it's something like a thing with like what was the word for it? What was the word when you copy someone else's homework? Like the damn it, it's on the tip of my tongue. It's like fraud. It's like blah blah blah. Goes something like that. Blah blah. Like the vowels go plagiarism. Okay, I got it wrong. That's the one. It's kind of like plagiarism. It's kind of like that. The problem I've been seeing is that some people think something is from ChatGPT when it's actually not. Like you tell ChatGPT, did you write this? And inevitably it's gonna tell you like 90-80% of the time, yes, I wrote it even though I didn't write it. Like I've seen somebody say that, I recall seeing this post where they said, hey, I just put the Declaration of Independence from the United States in here, and ChatGPT just told me that it wrote it before. So like it's, yeah. Bootleg, that's another term right there. So yeah. But I get ChatGPT is far from being the only thing. If you want to do something unethical and actually just have ChatGPT do your essay, and it can be recognized as ChatGPT somehow, I mean, just use something else. Just use Novel AI. You can register a free account and you have, well, last time I checked, you have enough free credits that you can do that. But of course, don't do something like this, actually, you know, unless you're forced to take the subject. In which case, I am all for that. Like in my equivalent of high school, I didn't give a damn about a lot of the subjects, and I had no reason to. They were forced on me. I didn't want to take them. I recall there was like this. They had like different specialties you had to choose. I just chose the easiest one for me. There was this one that was about foreign languages, and they had calculus in there. Like others didn't have that. Mine didn't have that, but they had calculus. Like, what the hell are you doing with calculus in that? Who cares about that in there? What use are they gonna have out of that? Did she get into trouble for failing a whole class from that? Yeah, that's the thing though. You can't think that it really is ChatGPT. Is no, you don't have. There's no. From what I understand, there's no accurate way to know if something was written by AI, unless it's glaringly, you know, it's done in a way that's glaringly obvious. Like, oh, you didn't fix this typo, or well, not a typo, but you didn't actually edit it a little bit to make it seem like you wrote it. Like you had a lot of sentences in a row. You had the exact same sentence repeated later in 3 paragraphs after this. Like, yeah. ChatGPT has been trained with basically the whole internet, so it's got context on a lot of stuff. A lot of things, maybe they're not free, but they're like Novel AI, but there's things that are trained on everything, basically. Don't use AI to see if essay is fake or real. Yeah. It's not reliable. It's not reliable. I feel like it's as reliable as like random.org, for example. That's been around for a long time now. Long before AI was like this. Artificial intelligence, at least. Not alternative idol. But, it's just, oh, did you generate this number with random.org? I'm gonna see if you generated it. There's no way you can know that. There's tools to try to find something was written by AI. There's a website called ZeroGPT, which is given an AI Nest score, but it's not perfect either. I don't see how it can track it exactly. The only way I can see it being tracked is, and you know, be wary of using AI maybe. I may sound like I'm wearing a tinfoil hat, but if it's logged, like if anything you write in ChatGPT or Novel AI or something like that is kept in the website, like, or in some way, even in code. Oh yeah, this user called Jimmy69 wrote this. Yeah, they used that for their essay. I don't know, I'm picturing some 12-year-old. Maybe you don't have essays then, but like, yeah. Okay, say a resume about this book, and you're Jimmy. And Jimmy69 went to ChatGPT, created an account. I don't know if they have accounts there, and used it, and they're like, oh yeah, this user did that. We have it registered. Anything you do here is gonna be registered. We're gonna know you did it. Something like that maybe is the way you can detect it, but probably something like that. It's logged on the OpenAI database. Samsung says their employees leaked a bunch of classified information by using ChatGPT. Yeah, so, you know, that's the, let's say for now is the price you pay for using such tools. I've used it, but like casually, like, oh yeah, it's fun to see what it's saying here. Oh yeah, I don't know if it was ChatGPT that I used before, but I used this thing where did I tweet about this? I don't remember, but I think I did. Where I asked it to tell me about Khaiden Tajigen, and it was very accurate. It was a very accurate answer. Let me see if I can. Let's see if I can find a tweet. I think I did do a tweet about this. Twitter advanced search. Let me see. If I search AI, I'm gonna have a lot of results. Way too many results. Let me search. I don't remember if it was ChatGPT, but I'm gonna search that. Give me a second. No results. I'm just gonna have so many results though. Yeah, there's way too many results. Especially because I'm referring to AI constellations, alternative idol constellations sometimes. Let me see. Give me a second. As a programmer, I use an AI copilot for work every day and it's been awesome. Definitely groundbreaking on that area. See, another use of AI that I might do in the future is if I ever do an RPG Maker game, I'm gonna have some things generated in there, especially for my first one. Like dungeons or maps. I think RPG Maker has that option. So that's a use of AI. That's AI right there, generating things for you. Let me see if I can find... It wasn't ChatGPT, it was something different. Because I can't find anything on that. But I could give it a try. I could ask ChatGPT about that. Oh man, I don't remember what it was that I used. Let me see. Let me go for ChatGPT. chat.openai.com. You have to create an account. Never mind. No, I'm just gonna... I don't need to create a bloody account. I just want to ask one question and that's it. I'm gonna use it every day or something. Anyway. I think I'm gonna just end up reading every quote in Star Maker. So let's go back to that and let me read some more quotes here. This is a fun discussion though. Let's keep discussing it if you want to in the chat, by the way. Anyway. This next quote though. This is now about... Oh wait, did I read the whole thing? No, let me finish reading about the last thing about, you know, having just a casual mentality to bad things happening to you. From the cosmical point of view... Wait, hold on. Yeah. From the cosmical point of view, the disaster was after all a very small dull point and mattered. It's also that point of view. But now the next quote is about a star. Stars. So let's sing it. The life of the individual star is not only a life of physical movement. It is also undoubtedly in some sense a cultural and a spiritual life. In some manner, each star is aware of its fellow stars as conscious beings. This mutual awareness is probably intuitive and telepathic, though presumably it is also constantly supported by inference from observation of the behavior of others. To describe the mentality of stars is of course to describe the unintelligible by means of intelligible but falsifying human metaphors. So the thing I was talking about describing a new color that you saw and you can't see anymore. Oh, there was this great thing I found out about that reminds me of this so much, but it's way more like casual, let's say, called Flatland, which was a novel published a couple centuries ago, which is crazy. They made it into a movie and it's about a being that existed in a two-dimensional world, which is Flatland. And there's this being, three-dimensional being like us, but it's just a sphere, kind of like a Pac-Man, but three-dimensional. That's kind of ironic that they had a two-dimensional being that is not a sphere, that is not a circle like Pac-Man. Like, I'm talking about the movie adaptation of that. And the spherical being looks a lot like a 3D Pac-Man. But they pull out the being and they start explaining 3 dimensions to them. They understand it, they're able to see the 3 dimensions now. But then when they go back to Flatland and try to explain it to people, they can't get it. Like, for example, if you go into a two-dimensional world and you show yourself there, you're not going to look 3-dimensional to them. You're going to seem like a... When you... For example, there's no up or down for them, right? So you lay down to show your full body, and then you stand up so you only see the shadows of your feet there, or your boots or whatever you're wearing. They're gonna see like your form just shifted in a weird way. That's all it's gonna look like. So if there's a 4th dimension that is not time, for example, or even if it's time, and a 4-dimensional being moves in the 4 dimensions in the 3 dimensions for you, you're not gonna see them moving in the 4th dimension. You're gonna see weird shapes to them. Like a human being starting to glitch, maybe, if they look human. Imagine seeing in black and white and reading a bunch of books about color theory. Ooh, could be that actually, yeah. It's not the same thing, but you would have to tell them, well, purple is like a sort of darker, yeah, like let's say light blue, teal. It's like a sort of lighter gray than the gray you're seeing there. Yeah, something like that. Yeah. That's definitely a thing, but even more so than that. Like, crank it up to 11. That's how it would be describing a new color that humans can see. And I think there are some colors like that, some infrareds that humans can see that are completely different than anything you could imagine. They're called infrareds, but they're not red at all, I think. Just unfathomable. Unfathomable. The life of the... Oh, no, wait. We saw that quote already. From the psychological relations of star with stars sprang a whole world of social experiences which were so alien to the mind of worlds that almost nothing can be said of them. Equally, when I tried to probe the depths of my own being, I found in... Oh, this is much later. When there's a whole universal mind of minds joined together. Nearly a universal mind. Equally, when I tried to probe the depths of my own being, I found impenetrable mystery. Though my self-consciousness was awakened to a degree thrice removed beyond the self-consciousness of human beings, namely from the simple individual to the world mind, and from the world mind to the galactic mind, and thence to the abortively cosmical, yet the depth of my nature was obscure. Let me drink some water. I have some synesthesia and people look at me like I'm crazy when I'm like, oh, this coffee tastes purple. What was synesthesia again? I can see what you mean though, and I can see why people would think you're crazy for that. I can see both ways. Yeah, sometimes like it feels like you can describe an experience that's not sight at all with a color, you know? It's kind of difficult to say. I mean, sometimes people say, oh, Mondays are blue because they're so sad. Where did that association of blue with sad come from? Red with being angry, maybe. Lots of associations. Did somebody just come up with them and everybody followed? Probably not. Something to it. There's something to it. Sometimes, you know, when I need to... Something that happens to a lot of people, maybe. I don't think I have synesthesia. Although I don't know what it is, but... For example, when I need to pay more attention to something I'm looking at or reading, and I'm listening to something in my headphones, I have to take them off. Even though sound has nothing to do with it, I'm like... And it's not like extremely loud or anything to distract me like that. It's just normal, and it's like... For example, the music I'm listening to right now, let me take off my headphones. I can't see... I couldn't see well. I need to not listen to what I was listening, for example. Also, numbers having color. 1 is red, 2 is blue, and Khaiden is a 10. Ah, thank you. Thank you. For me, 7 has always been purple for some reason. 5 is blue. Yeah, you see, I have something kind of like that. I don't know. Not the same thing at all, but something that kind of gives me an understanding of what you're talking about. 7 has always been purple to me. 10 is... I think 10 is black for me. No. 0 is always black. Maybe 10 is also black because of the 0 in it. 5 is blue for some reason to me. 1 is just white. 7 is orange for you. Okay. Orange for me. I don't think I have an orange color. 8 is also purple sometimes. Yeah. Sometimes it's kind of like a different shade of purple, or closer to magenta. Yeah, it's more like a magenta. Because of Discworld by Terry Pratchett, I start seeing it in a rainbow. Because there's something about the color, not the color, the number 8 in that world that is very important to the magic of it. The first book is called The Color of Magic, and it kind of is related to that. But yeah, I could go on and on with that. There was a huge discussion on Twitter one time what color different signatures were. Oh my god, I was just about to talk about that, Karma. As in math is red, science is blue, and so on. See, for me, well, it's also, I didn't come up with these, they were assigned to me. If I recall correctly, you know, when we wrap the books in those things, right? I don't know if it was for you, but like in this human form in my elementary school, or the equivalent to elementary, we had to wrap up the books for each subject. And I don't remember the name of the material, but it was like that. For me, math is always blue. It's never red. It's always blue. Math I always associate with blue for that reason. Red is like for the language class, like for English, not a foreign language, but like if your native language is Spanish, then it's Spanish. English is English, you know. For English, if you will, but not English as a foreign language. Yellow is for geography. No, wait, red is for history. Red is for history. Red is for history, yellow is for geography. This is a fun discussion, though. It's a fun discussion to have. I think it's just for fun at the end of the day, but what else? No, pink is for English, for the language. Not as a foreign language, but as your native language. Just learning about grammar and stuff like that. White was for ethics, or the equivalent of it. Those are the ones I can remember right now. Purple were for anything you would like. Orange was for music. Let's see. Green was for science. Natural sciences, that's mostly why they were... just science in general. Before you go into the later levels in which you have them separate as chemistry and physics and all that. For me, grammar is red, math is also red, green for science, social studies in blue. Yeah, social studies would probably be the white one I was talking about, but it's usually called ethics or something like that. No, maybe it's not the same thing. Yeah. Yeah. Like ethics or, you're learning about what being a good citizen is, basically. That's what it was. Not everybody has that subject. Also, what color is emptier, white or black? Well, I always imagine that to be white because black... Hey, let's talk about school a little bit more. In kindergarten, I remember putting all the clay together and it became black because of that. So black has always been like every single color put together. Just mashed together and you get black. And white is like a blank canvas, so... Seems that way to me, Karma. I don't know if you agree. Let me drink some more water because I'm kind of... I relate black with the emptiness of space. See, now that you say, I see it like that. Now that makes more sense, yeah. That makes equally as much sense as the other thing I just said. Yeah. Let me read the next quote. Although my mind now gathering into itself all the wisdom of all worlds in all ages, and though the life of my cosmical body was itself the life of myriads of infinitely diverse worlds and myriads of infinitely diverse individual creatures, and though the texture of my daily life was one of joyful and creative enterprise, yet all this was as nothing. For around lay the host of the unfulfilled galaxies, and my own flesh was already grievously impoverished by the death of my stars, and the eons were slipping past with fatal speed. Soon the texture of my cosmical brain must disintegrate, and then inevitably I must fall away from my past straw imperfect state of lucidity, and descend, through all these stages of the mind's second childhood, down to the cosmical death. And wine screens blind me as in full of light. Yeah, I see what you mean. Oh yeah, those are all the quotes. And I still need to get more. And use them like in lower posts or something, lower tweets. Wow, I need more water, hold on. You should take one of the honey lollipops later. What's a second childhood? I think they meant in the way you become senile and you become senile to the point that you lose a lot of faculties. Like an old person having to use a diaper. You lost control of the things you used to have control of. But that's how you started. You didn't have control of them, then you got control of them, then you lost control of them. It's kind of like that. I think that's what it is. I'm not sure. So yeah, let me remove. Just read Star Maker. If you can see yourself having the time, I recommend you read another book by the same author, Olaf Stapledon, called Last and First Man. It kind of gets depressing sometimes, though, I gotta say. But it's worth the read, in my opinion. If you're having an existential crisis, just read those books. One of the best things you can do, especially Star Maker. There's also some other books that have an equal sort of thing called Darkness and the Light and Death into Life. Darkness and the Light is what it sounds like. It's two future timelines. One that just descends into darkness. Humanity just gets fully oppressed by... It's just a dictatorship on the whole world that is done in such a way that humanity's intelligence decays because they just... they were just too many rules and too many restrictions on everyone. And such a bad society, kind of like Brave New World by Aldous Huxley. But you see how it goes extinct because of his stupidity. And then the light timeline overcomes oppression and it's a utopia. Still gets a little bit depressing because of something I'm not gonna say though because it's a spoiler, but yeah. Yeah, I think that's what it is, Karma. And then death into life is what it sounds like also. Like, people die and they eventually join this super consciousness. Like the world minds, like the galactic minds we were talking about. Everyone who dies comes together into a single mind that also retains everyone's individuality, like we described. Like even Hitler at some point dies. You have to remember when these books were written. Death into Life, I think, was after World War II. 1946 or so. And they have Hitler come in and he rejects a lot of the minds. Like he refuses to believe what he did is bad. And then eventually, he's able to repent. It's not like hell or an afterlife or something like that. It's something different, but there's some similarities, I guess. But yeah, those are where the quotes I have of Star Maker, my favorite book of all time that I will read again sometime soon. Death into Life is the one I haven't read again for a while. Darkness and the Light I kind of re-experienced again a few years ago, I think. But yeah. Let's get into the Pokemon thing I wanted to do. We have to switch to this screen now. Let me reposition myself here. I got to change where I am on the screen. Hold on. I guess I'm gonna have to keep changing it manually. I don't know. I'm glad you shared it with us. Yeah, thank you for listening. I hope it wasn't too much of a ramble. Wasn't boring or anything. Sometimes my pronunciation of words is really funky, but I hope it was okay. It's so nice to be on the screen looking like this. Oh, yes. And the portal is still there. That's going to remain there. I don't think I should change this screen right now. This background is still good for this screen. So let's see. Let me begin setting things up for this. So, there we go. This is the ultimate favorite Pokemon picker. It's not just every type, it's every generation. So you have your favorite type of each generation, and then you have your favorite overall of every type. Hopefully you can see, for example, they have Charizard, Blastoise, Venusaur, and Pikachu to represent Gen 1. And it has a 1 in there, though it may not be very visible. They have, for Gen 2, they have Lugia, Ho-Oh, and Suicune. So it's like the box art Pokemon. You can talk about your favorites. Let's just jump into it right now. Let's do it. So first, oh yeah, I just realized we have the wrong chat box. Hold on. Let's have the YouTube chat. So let's pick our favorites. Let's go. That's 180 Pokemon. Yeah, it's a lot of them. And it's not just the types and the generations. You also have gimmick forms. Oh, interesting. You have mega forms for Gen 1. I can see why. The legendaries are separate things, and then your overall favorite for everything. So I think this is going to take a while. I should have started doing it like an hour ago, maybe. But let's do it. Or would you like me to save this for another stream? Let me have some tea first. I mean, I could just do it again, I guess. It's not the same, though. But, oh yeah, and I should definitely download this as a picture when I finish. There's a lot. There's also these ones. Favorite mythical overall. Favorite regional mammal. So that's the local regional normal type. Or normal dark in some cases. You have Zigzagoon. Rattata. Favorite regional bug. They even have that. I don't recognize some of these. I don't even know. Like 2 or 3 of them I didn't know. Anyway. So, my favorite normal type of Generation 1. Okay, I think I know what this is. This is gonna be Meowth. I just love Meowth too much. Yeah, Jigglypuff and Wigglytuff are here, but notice how Clefairy and Clefable are not there. They're gonna be in the Fairy type instead. Meowth is great! There's a reason they chose it for Team Rocket. Meowth is just great, I love it. And it's not... I don't love it because it's popular, like Pikachu. I like Pikachu as well, though I like Raichu even more. No, it's because, you know, it's really just that good. I can see why they see in it. What they see in it. Now, my favorite fire type. I think I'm gonna go for Magmar. Magmar is just so cool. I like it. Did Gen 1 have 2 type combinations? What do you mean? You mean Pokemon with dual types? It definitely had them. If you mean Steel, Fairy, and Dark, they didn't have that, but we're looking at it overall, like retroactively. I mean, Let's Go Pikachu and Eevee has those types, so yeah. And then Gen 3 has Steel and Dark as well. So there's also that. Man, it feels so funny, so surreal to be on this screen. Not playing a game, but, you know, still using this screen with this model. Like, while I'm not looking at my streaming software and seeing myself for a moment, I'm picturing myself with my previous model. So it's great to see me like this. It's so great. So great. But okay, water. Oh man, there's so many. I think it might be one of the starters. One of the Squirtle, War Turtle of Blastoise. I really like them. Oh no, wait, what am I saying? I'm gonna go for Starmie. Although it's also gonna be in the Psychic types. Okay, it goes for... Oh, yeah, no, yeah. I guess I'm gonna go for Starmie as the favorite Psychic type. And the Water type is gonna be a different one. Here's where it starts getting difficult, right? I'm gonna try to make them different. So, oh man, Poliwrath also. My god, I don't know if I like Poliwag or Poliwrath more, actually. And I love Blastoise as well. Kame Bazooka. The first Khaiden in Kamen Rider B3, I think. Or the second one in the first episode. Iconic. So a turtle with two bazookas there, basically. I love it. But I'm gonna have to go for... I'm gonna go for Poliwrath. Because of the spiral. You know, I'm all about that too. I mean, the Hex Mayonnaise were the ones that kind of established that, but it works for other Pokemon. There's a favorite Spinda here. So you generate a random Spinda depending on the spots. I'm just gonna like every single one of them. I kind of like this Spinda. Anyway, hopefully you can see it. It's a little bit small on the screen, but if I make it any bigger, we're not gonna see a lot of things. So it's gonna have to be like this. Grass. What's my favorite grass type here? Vileplume. I like Vileplume. Weeping Bell is a lot of fun. But I think I might go for Parasect. Not a favorite bug type, but and I really like Oddish, Weeping Bell. Oh, I don't know what to decide here. Exeggutor! It's a mind with multiple individuals here. I love these Pokemon because of that now. Dodrio, Weezing. I'm gonna go for Exeggutor. So that's another Psychic type in here. Also. Electric Sea. It may not be Raichu. I really love Magneton as well. Magnezone I love as well. I'll tell you what, I'm gonna go for Magneton. Another great Pokemon. Electric Steel. But again, the double weakness to ground is right there. Double weak to ground. So your Torterra can kill it. Ice. Wait, we don't have a lot of ice types here, right? I'm gonna go for Cloyster. I really love Cloyster. And I do think about it as an ice type. So I don't forget that it's a water type. Fighting! What to go for here? Yeah, it's gonna have to be Machamp. Machamp, however you want to say it. For me, it's always been Machamp. Machop. Because it's like a pro wrestling based Pokemon. And it has 4 arms, that just makes it even cooler. I don't know. It's gonna be Machamp. Not all Pokemon are gonna be fully evolved Pokemon, but quite a few of them are gonna be that. Alright, for Poison. Kanto has so many Poison types. There's a lot of pollution in Kanto. Ghastly, Haunter, and Gengar are there, but I'm gonna save those for the Ghost type. It's gonna have to be Weezing because of the multi-minded thing. It's definitely gonna have to be Weezing. See, some of these I've never actually used in a party in a Pokemon game, but I'm definitely gonna do it in the future. Hopefully on stream. Anyway, ground. For ground, what is my favorite ground type? And feel free to tell me your favorites in the chat, by the way. Of course, there's a lot of them, so just tell me a few of them, that's okay. Nidoking is great, and I'm not saying that because it's purple. I really like Rhydon and Rhyhorn, but... I'm gonna go for Dugtrio, just to keep that multi-minded being thing. They're more like a hive-minded kind of thing. Like, if you isolate somehow a Diglett out of the Dugtrios, it's gonna be a sort of a super animalistic mind that only has the one instinct to return to the multi-body. I think the moment Pokemon releases third evolutions for Eevee, it's over. They're going to make so much money. I don't see them doing that. I think it's just about adding more evolutions. If they're ever in a financial bad situation, that's when they're gonna introduce more evolutions, I think. Or if they introduce a new type, which I hope they never do. I think it's really good with 18 types like this, but if they do, then yeah. And then it's gonna be at least 9 let's say they introduce a new type in generation 10, right? Then it's gonna be 9 generations without that type. It's gonna kind of suck. You have to readapt your whole thinking depending on which generation you're playing, right? Fairy hasn't been there for 5 generations. When we get generation 10, it's gonna be half of the generations. But at least you can start to manage that. 9 generations of a type not being there or more, that's too much. I hope they never introduce a new type. Fairy was there to balance things, you know. Dragon was a bit too overpowered. There were a couple Ghost Dark Pokemon that had no weaknesses. Spiritomb and Sableye. Okay, let's add that. Let's give more to Poison and Steel as well. Among other things, that's great. And I like that they made it so Steel doesn't resist Ghost and Dark anymore. That's a really good decision in my opinion. Okay, for flying is definitely Dodrio. Torigen is the nickname I give it. Like Tajigen, but using the word Tori, which means bird in Japanese. Psychic is Starmie, Bug. I'm leaning towards Venonat. But I think I said Parasect, right? Honestly, no, it's gotta be Venonat. Just that purple, fluffy thing with red eyes. I prefer it to Venomoth. That's the second non-fully evolved Pokemon here, if you don't count Magneton. Of course you would like the ghost being buffed. Of course I do! Steel shouldn't resist everything though. It's also about that. And after that, it still has 10 resistances. Like, yeah, it should be super resistant because it's steel, but not that super resistant, you know? Let me tell you something about the rock type. They should have added more resistances to the rock type. At least one more. Rock should resist itself. If you do a rock move on a rock Pokemon, it should be able to resist that. Guess what? It doesn't resist that. Unless it's also a ground type, like a lot of these. If you do a rock move on Aerodactyl, for example, it's still super effective because of the flying type. It should be able to resist itself. Like when you go for Gen 1, Brock talks to you, you know, Brock tells you, yeah, the rock type is super defensive and resistant, and it has 4 bloody weaknesses. Well, 3 at the time, but still. 2 of them are on the starter Pokemon. Squirtle and Bulbasaur. Like, you can kick his ass so easily. And a lot of the times, the rock gyms tend to be like the first or second gym. Because it's so easy to beat rock. So much for being, like, resistant. Like the pre-version of the steel type sometimes, you know? It sucks in that way. I still love it, though. I still love it. I think it's a good type, but man. Let me tell you something else that they should have changed about rock. In the Pokemon TCG, rock and ground are part of the fighting type. Like, so the thing about the TCG is that they don't have as many types as the regular games. They kind of cluster many types within one type. For example, Psychic. Ghost doesn't exist. Psychic has Ghost, Psychic, of course, and then Fairy. Which I love, of course. I think I can see why they do that. Grass has Grass and Bug in there. I can see why Bug is part of that. But then Rock and Ground are part of fighting. I can sort of see it, but at the same time, they should be their own type. Rock and Ground should be their own type. Maybe call it Rock or just Ground. They should be their own type. Fairy used to be its own type, and then they put it with Psychic. Dragon used to be part of Dark. That was terrible. They made it its own type after that. Poison used to be its own type. They put it in Dark. Like, that should have been a change with Rock. The longer you wait doing these changes, the worse it gets because... Yeah, but... With the Pokemon TCG, I feel like you can do a lot of these changes on your own. Like, without having to do errata, I think they call it in cards. Errata. Sounds like I'm talking about a rat. Ratata. But yeah. Anyway, my favorite rock type here is gonna have to be... It's gonna have to be Golem. I love Golem. Super weak to water and ground. To water and grass. Also weak towards ground because of the rock type, but I still love it. Many of those Pokemon that evolve only by trade, like Machamp. Man, I love Alakazam, but it just didn't have any room here. They've always been so much fun for me because they were so difficult to acquire, like back then, because it would be hard to find people that had it. Nowadays it's a lot better because you can just do it with people online. As it should be. And Ghost, well, you only have 3 options, which are the same in the same evolutionary line. Out of these 3, I love Gengar, I love Hunter, but it's gonna have to be Ghastly. I love just that it's literally a Shadow Ball. You know the move Shadow Ball? Well, if you give Shadow Ball to Ghastly, it's a Shadow Ball doing a Shadow Ball. I love it! I love it because of that. It's my favorite out of the 3. Of course, I always fully evolve it though. We gotta have a fully evolved Pokemon by the end of the game. You only have 3 options for Dragon, and out of these, Dragonair is actually my favorite. I love Dragonite too, but something about Dragonair just... I prefer it to Dragonite. I wonder what an evolution of Dragonair that preserved this sort of look for Dratini and Dragonair will look like. They could do it in another region. Like, call it a Lowland Dragonite. Well, not a Lowland, but like Haldian Dragonite, or call it an entirely different name. And it's still pure Dragon, and it preserves like the look of Dratini and Dragonair, for example. Anyway, for Dark types, here's the fun fact. Here's a fun fact about Kanto. About the 151 Pokemon introduced in Gen 1. Not a single one of them is Dark type. So look at what they gave me for Dark type. They gave me Missing No. They gave me like the unidentified ghost, Aerodactyl and Kabutops in fossils, and I don't know what this is, another Missing No or something. I'm just gonna put this ghost, I guess. You don't really have a Dark type. We just had to fill in the blanks. It's so funny. And Steel type, we have 2 options only. We're gonna give it to Magneton. That means we're gonna change the Electric type. That's gonna be Raichu. I just love Raichu, however you wanna say it. I just love it. It always seemed like the cooler Pikachu to me. Pikachu is great too, but like, yeah, I'm cooler and edgier. I have Raichu. So yeah. And then for Fairy types, we have quite a few, retroactively. Here, I'm gonna have to go for Clefairy. They're both lunatics, Clefairy and Clefable. Actually, I do prefer Clefable. Yeah, let's have Clefable. Okay, favorite starter. So I guess they're doing it in the multiple stages. Pikachu and Eevee are there as they should be. I'm gonna give it to Blastoise. Gimmick form, I guess this means like Mega or Gigantamax, stuff like that, yeah. Yeah, it's a good name for it. Make gimmick form. Mega Alakazam, Mega Charizard X, I love them. Mega Blastoise, now that's the bazooka. Mega Beedrill is great. Mega Gengar, look at that. Mega Snorlax becomes a whole island, yeah. Mega Mewtwo X, Mega Mewtwo Y. Mega Gengar. These choices are hard. I don't know which one to go for. Well, I'm gonna go for good old Charizard, Mega Charizard X. Just makes Charizard actually be a Dragon type, as it should have been retroactively. They should have changed that in Gen 2 or something. But okay. And then favorite Legendary is gonna be Mewtwo for sure. Mewtwo is just Mewtwo, I love it. And then my favorite overall of Gen 1, I don't even have to think about this. It's Starmie! It's a purple Psychic Star! Are you kidding me? A purple star! Of course I'm gonna love that Pokemon. It keeps competing with Sinistee for my absolutely favorite type. So yeah, my favorite Gen 1 Pokemon is Starmie. And here's my favorites of every type. I'll see if I can download this as a picture. Alright, Gen 2. Let's move on to Johto. Gen 2 and Gen 4 in that way, but they were introduced in Gen 2. What is my favorite normal type from Johto? That's a good question. That is a very good question. Girafarig. Oh yeah, you also have Igglybuff. I'm gonna go for Porygon too. I love Porygon, but I love Meowth more than Porygon, so we get that instead. Snorlax is another one I love. Tauros. But yeah, I'm gonna go for Porygon too. For Gen 2. Sentret and Farted are great. Sentret especially, I love Sentret. A purple star, there you go, there you go. Fire! See, this Pokemon has double weakness to ground and water, but I love Macargo. I love Macargo. Macargo! So yeah, that's my favorite right there. My favorite water type, I think it's gonna be Chinchou. I love Lantern as well, but I'm gonna give it to Chinchou. Chinchou is my favorite right here. There's many good ones. I love Totodile or alligator, crocodile, but it's Chinchou for sure. Then grass. See, I might be going for Chikorita here. Jumble of Blossom, they're great. Sunflora, Celebi. I'm gonna give it to Chikorita actually. Bayleaf and Meganium are great, but I'll give it to... Well, actually, no, I'm gonna give it to Meganium. Yeah, I really do like Meganium. A grass petal dinosaur. Would go for alligator? Yeah, I love for alligator too. Not a bad choice at all. Of course, no choice is bad if it's your favorite. There's no such a thing as a bad choice here. Except Ice-Cube, that Pokemon sucks because it's so overpowered. I hate that ability. I think at the end of the day in the meta, it's not that overpowered, but I still hate it. Looks so intimidating. Oh yeah. I think it looks really cool too though, but yeah. I mean, I think it has Intimidate as one of its abilities, but I could be mistaken. Anyway, favorite electric type is not gonna be Lantern. I'm gonna have it as a favorite water type. I love Ampharos. I just love it. I just love it so much. That's the way the cry goes. I'm definitely gonna have it here. It's the regional electric type. Like the D'Artagnan of the starters, the unofficial starter. The way Pikachu was, Marip is the same. He has 3 stages like a starter, so yeah. Okay, my favorite ice type. We have Sneasel, Swinub, Piloswine, Delibird, and Smoochum. It's either Sneasel or Smoochum. I don't know which one to go for. It's a really tough choice there. Sneasel has double weakness to fighting. It's not about that, of course. But Delibird has double weakness to rock. I'm gonna go for Sneasel. I'm an edgy boy like that. Alright. So let's go for fighting. Heracross. Yeah, I love Heracross. Double weakness to flying, right? But great Pokemon. It's been in every region ever since. Not counting black and white. You know, going from black 2 and white 2. It's been in every single region from what I understand. So that's interesting. Then Poison. I'm gonna go for Crobat. Crobat is just great. I love what they did to the Zubat line with that one. Now for ground. It's gonna be Fampi, I think. Yeah, it's Fampi. Good old Fampi. I love it. Ash, Satoshi had one. So yeah. My favorite flying type. See, I'm leaning towards Skarmory, but I love Scizor as well. So I'm gonna put it as my... Wait, Scizor might be my favorite bug type instead. What to do for the flying type? Let me see. What are the other choices? Oh no. Wait, Xatu might be my favorite psychic. Yeah, okay. I'm gonna go for Skarmory here. Bam, bam, bam. I love the fact that Crobat evolves through friendship, yeah. And it's a whole sort of plotline, sort of off-screen plotline with Silver, the rival, which I really love. Like, they only get their Golbat to become Crobat once they realize the error, once he realizes the error of his ways, so to speak. Something you don't really see though, unless you really notice it. Kind of like the disappearance of Raticate in Blue's party, or well, the Kanto rival. You see him in the Pokemon Tower, and then you don't see Raticate in his party anymore. Put 2 and 2 together, and something. Oh, that's not nice. That's not a nice thing that happened to him, but yeah. Oh wait, Espeon. Espeon is my favorite psychic type. I'm gonna put Xatu as my favorite flying type because I love it too. My favorite steel type is gonna be Skarmory. My favorite bug type is gonna be Scizor. Ledian comes very close, but it's gonna be Scizor. Double weakness to fire, that's okay, that's okay. Sometimes having a pure Pokemon is fine, you know? So the Wood of Pure Rock, for example. I love pure electric types because they have only one weakness. Pure normal types are great too like that. I love Exploud, Loudred, Whismur. You'll see that in the next generation in a moment, but yeah. When you bring in another type, you bring in some good things, but also you bring in some... We should be back online. We got disconnected for a moment. And for some reason, my Windows Play System sounds, which it was not supposed to do. Please let me know if you can hear me, if we're back on the stream. We got disconnected for a moment. We good? Okay. I hate how Windows just ignores me so rudely. Like, I tell it to mute the system sounds, but unless I have the sound mixer open, which actually I think I didn't have open, it plays them again. So annoying. But anyway, my favorite rock type is Tyranitar. Definitely Tyranitar. I love it. But I don't know if I love Larvitar more. I'm gonna give it to Tyranitar for now. I'm gonna give it to Larvitar actually, because there's a favorite pseudo legendary. Well, actually, now let's give it to Tyranitar. Rock Dark, double weakness to fighting as well. Well, Ghost type will literally have only one option, Mischievous. No, it's okay, I love Mischievous, but it's so funny, there's literally only one option here. And with Dragon, there's only one option. I guess my favorite Dragon type is Kingdra. I mean, it's not a bad Pokemon. I don't love it as much as Mischievous, but... goes to show you, man. Goes to show you. I mean... Let's Go Pikachu and Eevee were a lot of fun, to be fair, but... I wish they would have done a Kanto game where they introduced Cantonian forms of other Pokemon, like Cantonian Sepstrica from Unova. What till we get to Gen 4 fire types? Let me see that. Okay, yeah, there's just a few, but at least it's not just one. There's there's 6 of them, 3 of them in the same evolutionary line. One of them is a legendary. Anyway, for Dark type, yeah, it's Umbreon. We have both Espeon and Umbreon. I love them. I love them. See, Espeon and Umbreon were introduced as new evolutions because they wanted to introduce something new, which was the Dark type and evolving through different means, with the day and night system that they introduced in Generation 2. Sylveon was there to introduce the Fairy type also. Glaceon and Leafeon, I don't know why they were introduced. I think it was to show different kinds of evolution, like an evolution in a specific area. So they wanted to introduce that. So that's when they introduced new evolutions, I think. I feel like they're going to do it if they're in a dire financial situation to really get attention to them and a reason to play them. But otherwise, they don't introduce evolutions unless there's something they want to introduce along with them. But yeah, I'm one of those people that wants to see an evolution for everything, except normal, maybe. I don't think I want to see Stage 3 versions, though. But they could be fun. What I think you could do with Gen 3, I'm saying, no, Stage 3, is to maybe fuse the types. Let's say you have a combination of Espeon and Umbreon as a Stage 3, and you have that. That could be fun. Reminds me of Pokemon Infinite Fusions. I don't know if I should stream that. But anyway, my favorite Fairy type here. Is it Cleffa or is it Meryl? I'm gonna give it to Meryl because, yeah, it's just so nice. Okay, my favorite starter, that's gonna be Totodile. Toto. Gonna be Totodile. My favorite gimmick form, there's a few Mega Evolutions, and I don't know. I'm gonna go for Mega Ampharos. Now, Ampharos as a Dragon type. Let's go. And my favorite Legendary, I think it's gonna be Lugia. Yeah, I think it's gonna be Lugia. Then my absolute favorite Pokemon from Gen 2. This is a tough choice, but I think I'm going for Espeon. Yeah, I'm gonna go for Espeon. I might be going for Psychics and Ghost a lot for my favorites, but you know, I love those types. I love those types. Let me get some water. My voice feels a bit spent. You know what? I am so sorry to end it like this, but I've just come to realize this is gonna take a while, and it would be a lot better to save this for its own stream. You're getting a preview of what this looks like for me, though. Who knows? I might choose different favorites on the next time, but I want to save this for another stream, so we're gonna stop this for now. We'll do them again from scratch. I might choose some different options for some of them, but I'm gonna leave it here. Hope it's okay. It's not so much because of the time, but because I just think it's gonna be a lot better on its own. On a stream dedicated to Pokemon tier lists, maybe. So after I finish this, this is gonna take me a long time. After I finish this, we go for other kinds of tier lists, like tier lists for the games could be fun. Sorry to end it abruptly like that. But yeah, let me reposition myself here. Probably just save these positions. Like this. Hold on, I'm so completely uncentered. That's the thing about being 3D, you can just mess up the orientation a lot. Yeah, this is a lot better. Not really going over the border on top that much. What But well, yeah, let's wrap it up here, everyone. Thank you for coming to the Tea Tuesday talk. Just really wanted to do that tier list for Pokemon, but I really should have saved it Gen 1 and Gen 2 for a stream of its own. I just want to do Pokemon content. I just want to do it. Yeah. Well, we'll have more of that next week. I think we'll have either Pokemon TCG Live or the tier list stream or both. I mean, I could replace a Tea Tuesday talk with that instead as a Zatsudan. We can do them. Honestly, we can do them. It's a pleasure. Thanks for the stream. Thanks for being here, Karma. You being active in the chat like that is always so welcome. All of you. And if you're lurking as well, that is so welcome. You're helping me out a lot one way or another. That wraps up, though. That wraps up the first full stream in this form. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Let's keep doing more streams like these, okay? Let me take away CNST before I forget. Then I'm going to just have it on the next stream. Let's save it for Pokemon streams, maybe. Or Tea Tuesday talk streams, alright? Thank you so much for coming. Oh yeah, the schedule. Tomorrow we'll be doing Fall Guys on Twitch on 5 p.m. Central Time. Not all Wednesdays are going to be like this, only a few of them. We're going to see the new content. There's some spooky content I hear. But we'll see. I started in the day with the Constellation streamers. Let's go! Let's go! Who did you watch, Karma? Well, whoever it was doing great. It's not aware of anybody streaming earlier today, or well, depends on the time zone, right? That's really cool though, Karma. Yes, check out Everybody as an Alternative Idol, alright? An Alternative Idol. You can check us out in the description on the Twitter and Discord. And from there, see the lists of the idols and all that, okay? Man, my voice is kind of spent right now, what the heck? Some days it's just weaker. It's just weaker, and I feel like I'm forcing it a little bit more by getting excited on the stream. Anyway. Yeah, I hope whoever watched was great, Karma. Thanks for watching us, alright? Thanks for watching us. Us, the star cluster in human form, okay? The multi-dimensional Tajigen Khaiden, alright? Let's end it here, everyone. Otsukai, Otsukai, Otsukai-sama desu.